What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Dominic. What's up, everybody? It's Dominic 369 for Occultism Unleashed, and today we're gonna jump in to the new year. As you can see, this is the current chart. This is where all the planets are at, and the house cuts are based on the United States. But we got Venus has just went into Sagittarius, and we're gonna talk about Venus and Sagittarius right now. And the second video I drop will be about Jupiter going direct in Taurus. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll drop the video on Mercury direct in Sagittarius. Venus entered Sagittarius yesterday, or the day before rather, and Venus in Sagittarius symbolizes the desire to know. Venus is a planet that governs desire. It also governs our self-worth as the symbol for Venus. If you look at it down here, the symbol for Venus is the hand mirror. So Venus always gives you the appropriate energy to reflect on your desire for knowledge in the sign of Sagittarius. It gives you the desire to have more knowledge and more awareness. It makes you more interested in foreign cultures and higher education. Because Venus rules luxury and fine cuisine, you may find yourself eating out more and splurging on, foreign foods and foreign clothes and imported goods. Venus in Sagittarius is a sign that, that you want to discover more about the world, understand more of what's going on. Now, in the United States chart, Venus in Sagittarius is in the 12th house. That's not this chart. This is just the current position of all the planets right now. But in the United States chart, Venus is in Sagittarius in the 12th house. And that is a house of secrets. It is a house of self-undoing. It's a house that rules kind of foreign affairs. I'll make a full video on what's in store for the United States. Lots going to come out about their activity in war in the next 2 weeks and the things going on in the Middle East, Ukraine, and elsewhere. We'll get into that in that video. But for those of you who have Venus entering Sagittarius, now if your rising sign starts at if you got 0 to 30 degrees Sagittarius in your first house, you are going to personally be more interested in the things that I mentioned before, such as fine cuisine, increasing your education. You may find yourself in a relationship with somebody of a different culture or a long distance relationship, because the first house rules, your personal life and you physically. This also, can affect your style of dress. For those of you who have Venus transit in Sagittarius in your first house, you may find yourself in a more casual dress, or you may find yourself adopting some elements from the international community, whether you're wearing kufis or what they call dashikis, or head wraps and things like that. These things are going to be fashionable for you, and they're going to bring you some attention. Hopefully you don't have any negative aspects. Excuse me, no aspect is negative. Hopefully you're not channeling that energy in a negative way that brings you adverse situations. If Venus in Sag is moving through your second house, it's money time. It's money time, Jack, because Venus is Fortuna Minor, which means a lesser fortune, and Venus rules money for play, money for splurging, money to ball out. Money for self-beautification, money, for the self-worth. If you're having problems with your self-esteem and things like that, Venus moving into Sagittarius in your second house, you may find value in having, because Sagittarius is the natural ruler of the ninth house. When a planet moves through that sign in the second house and Venus is moving there, it's going to help you identify your self-worth and help you be able to build character based on things that you learn from other cultures. Adopt those values, even business practices and commerce, because the second house rules money and movable goods. If you're a business owner, right now is a good time to if you got Venus moving through your second house, is a good time to start creating some business opportunities for yourself, dealing with the international community and states that take at least 12 to 14 hours to travel to. It takes more than one day to go to that state and get back from you. These are places you want to look to do business at. In the third house, it rules our siblings, it rules our neighborhood and things like that. You may find people from the international community coming in to beautify your neighborhood, buying up things in your community. You can get mad about it, but if you're not neglecting it, you wouldn't have to deal with it. If you neglect it, you got to respect it, because they take it and they invested in you, and you ain't on your job. Venus and Sag in the third house also gives you a desire to read and study different books and things from other cultures. And it's going to help you out a lot if you take it upon yourself to do this. In the fourth house, this rules your home. It definitely rules food in the kitchen, your mother, the ending of things. And you may find yourself moving very far away, depending on the aspects that you have, or you may find yourself desiring to move away and start anew. As Venus moves through Sagittarius and aspects different planets in your chart, you just may be triggered to move. The fourth house is also the house that governs real estate investments. Right now, if you got positive aspects being made by Venus to the ruler of your second house or eighth house, this would be the time to use your money or your credibility, creditworthiness, to purchase properties for investment purposes based on the houses Venus rules in your chart. Now, Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and it's the ruler of Libra. So the areas that's affected in your chart are going to be the houses where Taurus and Libra are at, including the house where Venus, in addition to the house where Venus is transited in Sagittarius. Now, the fifth house, this has to do with fun, recreation, no, not long-term relationships, but booty call relationships. You're looking for something foreign and exotic, now's the time. Be careful, because Venus moving through your fifth house, this means you get blessed with kids. Especially, and it might be a curse for some of y'all. I'm just saying, but the fifth house is a house that rules children and pregnancy. And this is a time where you're prone to get pregnant. But also, the fifth house is the house of creativity and the birth of things that we create, such as inventions, music, things that you create. It's the house of creativity. So Venus there, you're going to be reflecting on things and also have the desire to manifest more. And it's going to come through for you. In your sixth house, it has to do with your health. We know the sign of Sagittarius. Well, if you don't know, the sign of Sagittarius rules your thighs and it rules your liver. If you've got problems with drinking and stuff like that, this would be a good time for you to take a break and reflect on, how you're overeating, because Sagittarius rules by Jupiter. You got it on your sixth house. You might have problems, with overeating and eating a little luxurious. Venus being there is going to give you the desire to do that, but that desire should trigger your self-reflection on how you're allowing food to inhibit your health, or how you can use food to improve your health. Now, again, Sagittarius rules the thighs and it rules the liver. Dandelion, is something that's known to detox the liver, and you want to do activities dealing with running and things like that. If you got gardens, the sixth house is a natural ruler of farm and pets that are smaller than goats. Uh, this would be a good time for you to get out, walk the dog, exercise, use that desire activated by Venus to get you motivated on your lower half. Your lower half, your legs, the activity of your legs, walking, jogging, running, bike riding in place. These are things that activate your lower three chakras, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus chakra. Venus is the hand mirror, so it's always going to have something to do with your self-esteem. So if you've been wanting to get on your exercise kick and Venus is moving through your sixth house, this is the time to do it. Venus and Sag in your seventh house, this has to do with your relationships, your partnerships, reflecting on legal matters that you have. This is a good opportunity for you. A good opportunity for you to appreciate the things that you have in your relationship and reflect on, how your partner has helped you grow or helping your partner grow. This is a good time for growth in relationships. The sign of Sagittarius is represented by the bow and arrow. This is telling you in your relationship it's time to shoot beyond the perimeters and the goals that you have for you and your significant other and really take time to grow mentally, spiritually, and physically. On the eighth house, the eighth house rules the resources of others. It rules death, mediumship, taxes, mortgages, loans, and it rules conception too. So the eighth house, Venus moving through your eighth house in Sagittarius. This is another easy to get pregnant time or easy to get somebody pregnant time. So you want if you don't want kids to be in your future in 2024, and you got Venus moving through your fifth or your eighth house, especially if it's transit in the sun or Mars, you better have your plan B money, your condoms on deck and all that, Jack, because fifth house and eighth house Venus will get you pregnant. A good time to reflect on the resources that you get from your closest friends, the resources that you can access. Time to check on any debts and wills and things like that, and get them paid. Venus will help you deal with your debt and things like that if it's moving through the eighth house. Venus and Sag in the ninth house. You got Sagittarius where it's naturally placed, the ninth house. This is the house of faith, belief, higher spirituality, higher education. It's time to reflect on the things that you want to know. What are the things you desire to know? What are the things that drive you and help you understand your faith? Reflecting on your faith will definitely enhance your spiritual powers. Magic mushrooms don't enhance your spiritual powers. They might magnify your receptiveness to spiritual things, but they don't give you spiritual powers or magnify your spiritual powers. Venus in the ninth house, it gives you the desire to want to grow spiritually. So if you got Venus moving through your ninth house and Sag, it's a real big blessing right now. 10th house is the house of career, your place in the world. If Venus is moving through your 10th house, this is the time where you want to turn up your career, reflect on the connection and potential you have for building international relationships, and really step your game up. If you got, more that you can learn about your career and where you want to be, entrepreneurship, whatever you're doing. Because if you got Sag on your 10th house, it's not likely that you're going to have fun working for somebody else or working in the same job. So you want to step that game up and reflect on what you really desire out of your career and what mark you want to make on the world. The 11th house, this is the payout we get from our career. It's our hopes and wishes and desires and things like that. And as Venus moves through your 11th house, it's the second from the 10th. So this rules the money of your boss. If you're looking to get a raise or something like that, now is the time to ask when Venus moves in your 11th house in the sign of Sagittarius. This is also the house of acquaintances and general socialization. It's time to get out there and network with people outside of your color, outside of your race, outside of your community, outside of your country. This is a massive time for networking and see what value you can add to other people and what value they can get from you. This is the time. That the 11th house is the house of networking, man. And Venus going through that house, it gives you good opportunities to see what you have to offer to other people. And when you understand what you have to offer, you can go into networking situations with your cards on the table and see who's interested in that and who you can help and mutually benefit. You dig what I'm talking about? When you jump into the 12th house, this is a house of rest and reflection, man. When you look at the 12th house, again, it has to do with psychability, it has to do with your mind, it has to do with escaping from your responsibilities and things like that. It also rules jails, hospital, and prison. So when Venus is moving through this house, it's time for you to really seriously reflect on the things that you do that increase your odds of failure. How do you self-destroy yourself when pursuing knowledge, when being led by your beliefs? It also gives you the opportunity to reflect on your beliefs and see if they're accurate at this time. Are your belief systems that you've been practicing, really focused on over the past year, have they helped you or hurt you in getting where you want to go? This is something that you have to discern for yourself, and I hope you take the time out to do it. We have set up a membership program on the channel. If you're interested, you can join for as little as $9 a month. We're going to be doing different spiritual stuff and things like that. And the higher levels of the membership, once a month, tutoring spells, teaching you planetary magic, candle magic, and things like that. You're free to join if you like. That concludes the Venus and Sag video. And I got to get on this Jupiter direct and Taurus video and give y'all some game on that. I appreciate you tuning in, man. Make sure you have a great civil new year. And yes, it's a civil new year because the real new year starts at 0 degrees Aries, the equinox. We'll be giving y'all some game on that. Don't forget to share the video, like, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps the channel grow. Thank you.